Less than 1% of people worldwide have run a full marathon. It sounds like a tiny fraction of billions of people, maybe because it's not an easy feat. I finally ran my first one in Yokohama, Japan last week, and it was the most incredible experience. For those who haven't attempted it yet, running 42 kilometers can seem super challenging, but the truth is, what seems daunting and unattainable is honestly possible if you really want it. And this can apply to literally anything. Growing a YouTube channel, launching a consultancy business, living the life you actually want. I truly believe that anyone can do it with the right mindset and work ethic, and in their own time. So if you want to achieve something that seems so far away at this current time, hopefully some of these life-changing realizations I'll share today can help encourage you to keep working towards it. First, manifestation comes from something you actually believe can happen to you. Manifestation doesn't come from nowhere. You don't manifest becoming a famous musician if you can't sing or play an instrument to save your life. What you manifest can seem super challenging at the beginning, but it's actually within your realm of reality. I manifested running a full marathon 6 months ago, not because I was anywhere fit or ready for it at the time. I manifested it because I knew that with the right training and mindset, it would eventually be possible for me to get there. It was a goal I had decided to set for myself and even put out into the world so that there's no turning back. Manifestation works when you truly believe that something can happen, because that belief shapes your actions until it does happen. So for example, if you want to have a thriving cookie business, you have to really believe deep in your heart that you can have it. Think of someone who already has a thriving cookie business right now, and just imagine the extensive journey that person had to go through to get there. That could be you too. But you have to go through your own extensive journey as well. It's not easy, but if you want it enough, why can't you have it? You can do hard things too. You need to see yourself as someone who is capable of running a successful cookie business, an entrepreneur, or an endurance athlete if your goal is running a marathon. Then finally, crossing the finish line reminds you that the limits you once believed were fixed were actually just all in your head. You'll realize that you're capable of more than you had thought, and that is a realization that spills into every part of life. Second, change happens with boring repetition, not motivation. Motivation is fickle. Motivation comes and goes. You don't wake up excited to run every single day, but you do it anyway. What matters is what you do even when the motivation is not there. That is the true test of character and dedication to your goal. Training for a marathon teaches that progress comes from consistency, not moods. For me, it wasn't just one day, 5 hours of running 42 kilometers. It was 4 months of rigorous practice, days of waking up at ungodly hours or squeezing in runs at the end of a busy day, clocking in dozens of kilometers each week, training for hours even when it's tiring and uncomfortable. It's not supposed to be easy, but that's why it breaks you out of your comfort zone and pushes you to do things you never thought you could. So I liken it a lot to growing a YouTube channel. When growing a YouTube channel, you need to post consistently. That includes coming up with a video idea, writing the script, shooting the footages, editing, creating the thumbnail, crafting the title, description, and tags to optimize it, hitting upload, and doing it all over again regardless of how the video performs. But at the same time, analyzing the performance of each video so you know how you can improve. I've been doing this repetitive process for over a year, and it's not always fun. But I need to do it if I want to see results. It took a while to see some growth. It's been steady, but I still need to keep going. Big goals are achieved with small, sometimes boring repetitions. That's when you start building your resilience, and you end up valuing not just the outcome, but also the effort. Third, state is everything. Change does happen with boring repetition, but that doesn't mean that you should suffer in boredom the whole time. You can actually make your process less boring and more enjoyable. You just need to be in the right state of mind. With marathon training, running with my training buddies, especially during the longer runs, really helped lighten the load for me. Spotify has also been essential. Vibing to feel-good songs, listening to podcasts I was genuinely interested in, laying out my running clothes and gear the night before so I'd feel extra prepared and ready to go first thing in the morning. psyching myself up with bananas and energy gels, warm-ups, and pep talks to make each run a good one regardless of the conditions. And what I realized is that mental strength matters much more than physical strength. During the marathon, after around the 30th kilometer, my legs pretty much weakened, and that's when my mind took over all the way up to the end. That just proved how powerful self-talk and mindset are in pushing through any type of discomfort, whether it's in a race or any part of life. So how can you make your own process more enjoyable? Feel free to share in the comments so that we can get inspired. Fourth, you need an action plan. Having the right mindset is all well and good, but it can only go so far if you don't have a plan of action. For our marathon training, our plan was the program our coach prepared for us. He gave us a program each month where we had to clock in 1 tempo run, 1 interval run, and 1 long run per week, and it gets more challenging as each week goes by. It was tough, but it definitely helped having someone with the expertise guide us throughout the entire process. Now, if you were to translate this to a different goal, for example, losing fat and gaining muscle by the end of this year, in order to do that, you will need to create a tangible plan of action from the very start. It should be clear, strategic, and as much as possible, backed by data for it to work. It doesn't need to be a perfect plan. It just needs to exist. When you have that laid out in front of you, it becomes more doable. It lessens your decision making and makes you more consistent in your work. Fifth, when you hit a wall, that's when you truly grow. In this whole marathon training experience, my wall was my bad ankle. Things were going well in July and August, but in September, suddenly I would have a sharp pain in my left ankle for no obvious reason. There was no fall, no sprain, nothing, just a weird recurring pain. So why was this eye-opening? It took me out of complacency. It's good to be confident, but you need to be grounded and accept that things won't always go your way. And if they don't, you need to find ways to work around that. For me, that was doing ankle strengthening exercises, lots of stretching and mobility work, practicing my cadence and foot landing, observing the pain by the day, and recovery. Recovery is actually productive. You might think that rest doesn't add to your training mileage, but it's super important. Progress needs recovery. There are days or even just moments where you need to rest. Your body and mind need a little break from the strain they've been put through. So after hitting that wall and bouncing back, you become stronger than ever. Sixth, it's your race, no one else's. Your life is your own race. You're not competing with anyone else. Each person's starting point is different. Amazon started out with Jeff Bezos selling books online from a garage back in 1994. The brand traveled far and wide before it became one of the world's largest online retailers. So if you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone who seems more successful, more put together than you, just remember that they're running their own race from their own starting point, fighting their own battles. Just like you. With marathons, they call it a race, but you're technically not racing with anyone. It's a race with yourself, whether you have a specific running time in mind or you're just striving to complete it. It's a race between past you and present you. How much more do you want to grow? How much more do you want to achieve out of life? That's the race you invest in, and no one else should get in the way of that. And finally, you can wing it alone, but having a support system is always better. Technically, only you can direct the course of your life and capabilities. No one else will do it for you. But having people around you, whether it's to work out with you, help you out with your business, or even just encourage or inspire you, can really take you much further than if you do it all alone. Community and support make the journey lighter. For me, it was my training buddies, my family at the finish line, and the Yokohama Marathon volunteers handing out water at the aid stations. And of course, everyone back home who wished us luck and cheered us on. You realize how much we need other people and how far kindness and encouragement can carry you. There are things in life that aren't easy, but they're the ones that could be the most rewarding. And if you put yourself in the right frame of mind, keep taking the steps, and do what you can do to enjoy the ride, you'll definitely get there. So that's all for today's coffee chat. Hope you took away something helpful from it that you can apply to your own life and goals. For more videos on motivation, nutrition, and general wellness, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.